Hey, everybody. Welcome to your weekly training where we want to step fully into our identity, doing life on purpose. This is a big deal so that you can really fulfill that God given destiny today. Again, I have my girl, Jennilee. She is amazing and has come so far. You've heard her testimony in the previous week. And she was really having something on her heart as we were talking about just discussing a bit about the root of bitterness, like what bitterness produces and maybe our mindset about God in the midst of it. So Jenny Lee, would you just share a little bit about what's on your heart?
Yes. All right. So, what's been on my heart lately is what causes people to become non believers. And because it's really kind of disturbing to me. I mean, even though I don't judge and I say I respect you fully, but what causes that? I don't feel like we're born that way and we just all of a sudden just don't believe and not have hope because, you know, I think it's learned or it's certain things that happen in life. But we have to remember that bad things do happen in this life to good people. Like it's just we're not in paradise. We're not, and I think a lot of people, I mean, we were all sinners. We all go through our own battles and hard things. And I think what I've just noticed with talking with certain people recently that are non-believers, they say that, oh, if there was a God, he wouldn't have let this happen to me. This bad thing happened to me and this trauma happened to me. And I just have been really thinking into that. And that God doesn't do that. God doesn't make those bad things happen. And I feel like that's where that resentment comes in, and they choose to get bitter, resent God, push him out of your life, and think that he caused that and that's not true. I mean, look at Jesus, the purest man ever walked this earth, and he was crucified, and it's just like, I think we need to get out of that mindset of thinking that way, that no, I've been through hard times too. And I think instead of getting into that victim mode, like, poor me, why did this happen to me? Mindset, no. I'm grateful that this happened to me. This hardship, this hard thing I went through, I'm grateful for because there was learning in that. There was growth in that. And I can teach others how to deal and how to get through it. And that's huge. That's just something I feel like, no, God did not cause that. He wants good things for us and not these bad things to happen. And I think getting out of that mindset and being grateful and thankful that I went through that, because now I can use it and turn it to help others, maybe battling with the same kind of issues.
Whoo, girl, I can tangibly feel your passion on this one.
Yeah.
And I love it because
Yeah.
it's such a crucial mindset to change. So we have a choice. Bad stuff happens in life. Like, that's just part of the program. You're right. When Jesus got crucified and he was completely innocent, that was a bad thing that happened to him, right?
Right.
But
Right.
that doesn't mean that God is bringing that on us. In fact, he's such a loving, good dad. What kind of dad or mom would want to bring nightmares on their children? None. And so we have this choice and this opportunity to choose our mindset, to choose our perspective when we're walking through pain. And so I love what you're saying there, because here's the thing: a victim or like an orphan that doesn't realize they have a loving father is going to sit there like, all this bad stuff's happening to me and my life is a mess and I hate God, and get angry over the whole thing. Where if you want to look at it differently, you can go, whoa, a bad thing happened to me. And what is the opportunity in this? Because God gives us beauty for ashes. So I've got some ashes here. What's the opportunity to learn? What's the opportunity to grow? What's the opportunity to thrive in this thing? And all that does, see, I've been through some really painful stuff, traumatic stuff. And I look back at that time and I realize how God used that thing. He didn't bring it on me, but he used that thing to make me a stronger, wiser, more resilient, passionate person. And here's the
Yeah.
thing. Every time I conquer hardship, I have the keys of authority put in my hands to go release somebody else out of the prison that I was in. And so, what a great opportunity if we can change our mindset and our perspective. This is a key mindset change, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
What are your
'Cause
thoughts on that?
I mean, it's true because I've been there. I've been there before thinking, why, God, why are you doing this to me? Why, and I think a lot of us struggle with that, but it's, it's not that. It's not that. He's preparing you and there's good to come out of it. There is.
So, what's behind this passion in your heart on this one? What brought you to the point where you're like, guys, you got to hear this message. Understand that you can have a victor mindset instead of a victim mindset.
Exactly. It's just been on my heart lately and just recently having conversations with people that are non-believers. And it's just I, it's just, I don't know. I don't know. I just was on my heart I've tried to process it in my own head. Okay, what makes them think this way? What made me think this way when I was going through that hardship or hard time, and it's just something to sit down and really try to understand what causes this way of thinking. And I think we need to, it's a message that I want to share with everybody because it's really near and dear to my heart because it's hard to hear them, especially certain close people in my life, hearing that they're non-believers. And so I'm set out to, on this mission, I guess, to spread the word or awareness.
Whoa. Okay. So there's another perspective here. I see we're
Right.
digging in deeper now. So
Or,
we
yeah.
have to decide, are we going to be a victim or are we going to step into victory and unlock other prisoners' doors? And then what I'm hearing you say now is we've got people in our lives that may not have that behavior in alignment and they may not have their mind in the proper place. And you're saying, what I'm hearing you say here is like, mercy and compassion looks like understanding what's behind that, what is causing that, and asking those deeper questions. I love
Right.
that because that's what Arrow's Edge does is we want to get to the root of the thing because behavior is like it means it really is just the outpouring of what's going on in somebody's heart. And for me,
Right.
it's like there's so much promise in every heart, and it's to find what is causing the behavior. The thing is never the thing, is the line I always say. It's like the thing is never the thing. They may be doing something on the outside, but it's always related to something on the inside. And I feel like we have got to do our walk differently. The church needs
Mm-hmm.
to change and adapt to address these needs of the heart that people have. I think for a long time we've over spiritualized things and bypassed that people's emotions and people's hurt and pain and trauma are a real thing that has caused them to see God in a way that is not accurate. So, wow, I love that thought. Yeah. What are you thinking? I feel layers with you like right now on this. It's so cool.
It's always a process. It's like I process one thing and then something else comes about and then I'm like, okay, I need to process this. I'm always a why person. I need to know why. Let's get to the the root cause as to why this is going on or why this is happening. It's just so yeah, there'll be something else that'll come up and then I'll just pray about it or um, just try to process it in my own mind and my own heart and try to make the world a better place is what I long for, you know?
So how has this changed how you deal with people, your relationships?
Oh, um, instead of just like quick judging, I step back and just truly like try to put myself in their shoes and understand where they're coming from. Because, like I said, it's not that's something that we're born with to think this way. It's definitely learned or processed along the way, and and maybe we need to redirect or retrain and rethink things, and really just step back and look at them as a person. Like, I always try to find the good in everybody. I mean, it's there's always a good person deep down in there, and I think I always try to look at that.
Yeah. Okay. So you're talking about empathy here. Put yourself
Yeah.
in their shoes and understand from their perspective. And when you do that, it gives you this opportunity to really see what's behind that thing. I love what you're saying. It's like, I just ask
Yeah.
why, what's behind this? I
Why?
love working with you because of that. It's like we have this flow together of like, even in your own life, what you've done is like, well, why is this happening? And what needs to shift and what mindset needs to change? And that has made
Right.
you like a very strong, resilient person. And
Yeah.
the authenticity that pours out through you is amazing. It's one of Arrow's Edge core values is we don't do
Yeah.
shame here. And that is one thing that I see you
Huge.
always navigating through. You don't do shame. It's broke off. There is none of that. And so now you have this strength and ability to walk into your life and set other
Mm-hmm.
people free of what
Right.
they're battling, their shame, their hopelessness, their
Yeah.
pain.
And another thing is just when I get mean comments, whether that be on social media or whatever, they're always going to be those keyboard warriors that are trying to shame or hurt somebody by their words. I always come back now with something loving to say. And I look at it differently. Well, I think differently. Like, I wonder what they're going through today. What hard thing they're going through. I try to look at it in a different way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, in fact, it's biblically accurate. Corinthians says, letting love and kindness be the motivation in all we do.
Yes. Yes.
How beautiful.
Yeah.
How beautiful. Do you have any other thoughts before we end the training today?
Uh, no, that's it for today. I'm sure we'll maybe have some more later.
Okay, guys, listen.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Listen, guys, everybody out there, this is such an important topic today because what God has been really talking to me about over the last year is like we have to do church differently. We have to do like approach people in a different way. We have to take a different approach. And I think that right now in this time and season is to really start to understand and grow in empathy,
Yeah.
and it's not about what I know. It's actually about just facilitating encounters with Jesus because he really is the healer and he is the one that makes sense of all things. And so when
Right.
we lead people to encounters with him, they're able to change their mind and to see things a new way. And when people see things a new way, things like anxiety breaks off, shame breaks off, worry breaks off. And what if we set people free and help them to see the Father the way he truly is? What if we could create an environment that is devoid of roadblocks that people could really encounter God for who he really is? To me, that's my dream. That's my vision. And when I was talking to Jennilee here, I was just like, girl, you are so in alignment, so in the thought. The passion is, listen, people are out there and they are hurting, and we need to start to understand why as
Why?
Christians and
Yep.
start to look at why are they bitter against God? Well, they're thinking that God did this to them. They're
Right.
seeing him as an abusive father. Well, why would you follow an abusive father? So it's to approach them with that empathy and with that love and kindness being the motivation in all we do. Jennilee, I just love your passion and your heart, and I really wanted to have
Yeah.
your story be heard with our group. You are an amazing leader and a wonderful friend, and I so appreciate you coming on today to share your heart. So
Oh,
thank you
thank you so
so
much.
much. Guys, make sure comment below what was your biggest takeaway for what Jennilee was talking about today with, perspective and looking behind the scenes of what's really going on, meeting people in empathy and compassion, breaking off that bitter root through our manifestation of love in the earth, right? So I
Right.
bless you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll talk to y'all next week. Have a good one. Thanks, Jennilee.